Well, good afternoon, everybody. I hope your summer is going well. It's Robert here, and today I am going to show you how to make irresistible peanut butter cookies. And in fact, the recipe I am using is from the peanut butter container from Jif. And then the recipe is on the back here. So it says irresistible peanut butter cookies. And the reason they said irresistible is because they're so good, they're just irresistible. So let's preheat our ovens to 375 Fahrenheit and we'll go over the ingredients. I have 1 1/4 cups of packed brown sugar. This is dark brown sugar. The recipe calls for light brown sugar, but the dark brown sugar is really overpowering in its flavor because of the addition of molasses. I'm also going to be using 3/4 cup of the peanut butter, which I just showed you of the container. I'm also going to be using 1/2 cup of vegetable shortening, an egg, 3 tablespoons of milk, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 3/4 teaspoon of baking soda, 1 3/4 cups of flour, and finally 1 teaspoon of pure vanilla extract. All right, so here's my cookie sheet, and I'm gonna grease it. To make it nice and simple, I'm using cooking spray, but again, you can use any method of greasing. Let's set this aside while we work on the dough. For today's recipe, I'm going to be using a KitchenAid stand mixer with the paddle attachment. If not, you can use electric hand mixers or you can do it by hand. Probably for just every recipe, cookies, cakes, whatever, you could just use any method of mixing here, whether it's stand mixer, hand mixer, or just a spoon or by hand, basically. I'm going to put my brown sugar into the stand mixer. Next is my peanut butter, and I am using regular smooth peanut butter. If you want it nice and chunky, you can also use the crunchy peanut butter. Next, my shortening. My egg. Milk. And the vanilla extract. I'm going to lock up the mixer and I'm going to beat these together, and I'm going to make sure they are really nicely well creamed. I want to make sure they are nice and fluffy. I'm going to do this on high speed for about a couple seconds to a couple minutes. All right, so as you can see, the mixture is way lighter than when I first started it, and that's because I incorporated a lot of air into it. And when you incorporate air into a mixture, the mixture lightens up. So what I have here is my flour, and I'm simply going to whisk in the baking soda and salt. This just lasts a couple seconds here. Boom. See how simple that was? Wow. I'm going to put my mixer on low and gradually and slowly get in the flour mixture. And once you get in the dry ingredients, it's at this point where you do not want to overwork your batter. All right, that's good. I'm going to put this on low. I'm going to keep this on low speed and continue mixing until everything comes together here. All right, perfect. I'm gonna unlock this. Just look at how beautiful this is. I'm gonna go grab a spatula, scrape off my beater, my paddle attachment, and then will be back to show you how to put the cookies on the baking sheet. All right, so what I'm gonna do here is I'm just going to take up a handful of my dough and about 1.5 inches. I'm gonna simply just roll it in a little ball and place it like that on the baking sheet. Nice and simple. And say hi to my kitty, who gets very curious of what I'm making, everything I'm making. As you might have saw him, he was actually licking and is currently licking the cooking spray because he thinks it's delicious. Yum. But you know what's gonna be more delicious? These amazing peanut butter cookies that are gonna come out of the oven after baking for about 7 to 8 minutes at 375 degrees. All right, I got a good 12 balls here, and I'm just gonna take my fork and do the classic crisscross pattern. Oh, these look so good. Then after this, in the oven they go for 7 to 8 minutes. I will see you then. All right, so here are my cookies. They baked for 8 minutes at 375 degrees, and they look so good. So right now I am just transferring them to a plate. They have cooled on the rack for about 2 minutes, and right now I'm just placing them on the little plate right here. Just look at how nice this is. So guess what I have here? I have another batch of peanut butter cookies because I had a little extra dough. When you have extra dough after your first batch, you should bake the second batch because you don't want any of that goodness to go to waste. So just look at these. Oh, so good here. And I'm gonna bake these for 8 minutes again. At 375. While my second batch is baking, I'm just going to take a bite of this amazing cookie. For sure. Delicious, chewy, crispy. Perfect peanut butter cookie. And irresistible. All right, so here is my second batch, and I did these again for 8 minutes at 375 degrees Fahrenheit. They look super, super good. My mom actually came home, tried one of the cookies, and what did you say, Mom, about them?
They're irresistible.
What else?
Delicious.
What else?
Spectacular.
What else?
Tremendous. tremendous.
Are they the best cookies I ever made?
Yep.
Awesome. Perfect with a glass of milk. All right, here's another cookie here. This is the second batch, and it's still quite warm. My mom says that these cookies are better when they're warm. Let's take a bite. You know why these cookies are so good. If you want to look for a great peanut butter cookie recipe, check out Jif. They have a great one. This recipe makes 24 cookies, but as of right now, there is literally less than that. That's how irresistible these cookies are. They disappear within minutes. Now, I hope you enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe, and comment if you wish. See you next time. Goodbye.